All right, everyone, welcome back to the conversation. And in the spirit of welcome back, I'm going to screen share and play the theme song to this really great series from the 70s, which happily dates me and Emery. Being force fed in 11 seconds. Yeah.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. We got him on the spot. Welcome back. 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 We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how it must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. You were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back, 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 welcome back.
What a beautiful song from the 70s.
Travolta came a long way.
Yep.
That was the days of the Fonz, eh? That was the other the very popular program. What was it called? Happy Days.
All right. So responding to your comment, Oswald, and I assume you're cool with me reading out your comments, and I presume you would specify if otherwise. Really, number one, really appreciate you sharing about the block party to other folks and pertinent figures, as you put it, but none have responded. Number one, some people take time to respond, especially in times of crisis like this. People get busy with other things naturally, so that's one thing. And number two, we're definitely ahead of the curve here, and playing out here on the skinny branches, and basically me turning my life into the Truman Show. If anyone Emery, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, isn't it funny, Emery, all these great movies that we get to refer to, but then when we're talking to these younger folks, they're just like, huh? Anyway. But anyway, basically, my life has become a reality show. Yeah, totally. Anyway, good points there, Oswald. So, but we're pushing the envelope. We're ahead of the curve. These long format meetings really push us deep into this magical space of co-creation, of analysis that really doesn't have time for bullshit. I mean, we do have time, and in fact, you came at the very tail end. I would even say the very scraps of the end of a long conversation about capitalism. You know, is it good or bad? You know, and I mean, it's just like, oh my God. And so, I mean, because for me, in a nutshell, the whole system needs to be radically transformed, including capitalism. And it's kind of pointless to tell these stories about how great capitalism is when, fine, we may use elements of it as a tool in designing what's coming next. But anyway, other than that, it was just a painful conversation. And what the heck was my point? My point was we had time for the conversation, but we also had time for me to say, wait a second, this is a waste of time. And let's get to what really matters, which is designing the future, designing wherever we're going to go from here. And yes, I said designing it. Here, let me try to turn on some lights, metaphorically and physically.
I'm curious what you have to say, Jamin, about plans that exist already but aren't public. I don't know.
Oh, which plans? Specific plans that we have?
Oh no. I mean plans for. We're not the only ones planning for the future of the world at scale and as a whole, or the human species. There's a bunch of planning that's going on that, I mean, shit, how many people know about the planning? Not very many. But there's definitely some, like, you know, I'm just going to use the word elite people because I don't know what else to say there, that they get together and they have a plan.
Well, they have a plan for what they're going to do, but they don't really have they don't have a plan for the planet. They only plan what they're going to do. And they're so diluted. Look, if they had a plan for the planet, we wouldn't have gotten into this mess. We wouldn't have gotten so close to the brink, where with exponential, so they don't have a plan for the planet that's worth anything. They may think that they have a plan for the planet, but what they really have is a plan for themselves. And that includes, you know, $50 million bunkers and so on.
And just to, you know, devil's advocate and push the conversation further, what makes you think that if the plans they do have are evil and horribly destructive and selfish. Well, I guess what I'm considering is, what if their plans I'm just wondering why their plans would not be public, and I'm exploring the possibility of them still being good, righteous people, but having the incentive to keep things on the down low and not come out to the world with this huge public grand plan. I don't know. I'm just exploring.
Yeah. I mean, my answer to that, very respectfully, is whatever. And no, so why do I say that? Because if they have a plan that's secret and we don't know about it, we can speculate it all day long and all night long. And what's going to come out of those speculations? Whatever, right? And what are their intentions? Are they good? Are they evil? They're heroin addicts. Their flavor of heroin of choice is money, right? So what they're doing is trying to figure out ways to make more money, but part of their reality is that they're deluded, right? Part of their reality is delusion. Delusion is a part of their reality. Were it not the case, they would have used their considerable power and resources, including not just leverage over the media, ownership of the media. Hello? They would have used their considerable power and resources to steer humanity onto a good course of some kind, right? But they haven't even done that. They're just trying to figure out how to make more money. That's why I say whatever. They're like a cancer that needs to be dealt with, right? Oh, does the cancer have feelings? You know what? Frankly, I actually don't give a rat's whisker whether that cancer has feelings or not. Whether these, ultra rich, ultra powerful, whatever, think they have good intentions or not, who cares? I care about what they do. I don't care about what they think or feel, right? Their actions are so predictable, just like a cancer's actions are so predictable, that it is simply irrelevant whether the cancer is happy or sad or excited or bored. It's all irrelevant. What's relevant is what the cancer does. And what it does is it grows at the expense of healthy cells, right? And it consumes the body and it kills the patient, right? Unless it's stopped, right? Anyway, that's why my answer is whatever. I hope that's valuable. I hope it didn't bore anyone, and I'm going on mute.
I guess here's what I'm asking you to take on, I guess, is like I'm trying to respect and explore whatever efforts are being made that I don't know about by people that have money, and they're not inviting everybody to participate in what they're doing. But they're doing the world good. That's no, it's a hypothetical. I'm saying I'm not convinced that there's not a group of people out there that we haven't ran into that's exactly like that. They have a bunch of money and they're actively changing the world for the better. Always. Not convinced that those people don't exist. And sometimes that's how these conversations make it feel, is it's like, well, anybody with a lot of money couldn't possibly be good for the world at all.
No, I disagree with that statement. I had a chunk of money at one point, and over the years, I've basically invested it in this, in exactly what we're doing here. So I'm kind of a counterexample to that hypothesis. They certainly can do good, right? It's certainly possible. I have yet to see, and I've met a number of billionaires. I've gotten to know a few, and a couple are even friends of mine. And as a class, I don't have any resentment or hatred. I don't want to see them, anything bad happen, nothing of the sort. I have no problem with them as a class, right? Billionaires as a class. I'm simply pointing out that, they're about as predictable as a strung out heroin junkie on a Saturday night, ready to sell their ass for their next fix. So if anything, I have compassion for them. But I'm also really pissed off at the fact that the aforementioned heroin addict stepped on a baby's hand with their hard shoe as they were walking to get something that they wanted down the block, right? They're being very destructive in their singular pursuit of more. And I haven't seen a single counterexample to that that's at all impressive. I'm racking my brain to think of a thing. I mean, there's certainly plenty of billionaires who donate to charity, right? Oswald wrote an interesting quote. Let's see. I like the way he calls them the elite Minati. Douglas Rushkoff, the author of Throwing Rocks at the Google Bus and a lefty critic of technocrats, thought he was going to give a presentation to a large audience with a few billionaires sprinkled in, and it ended up being just him in a room having his brain picked by said billionaires on how to best survive collapse in their bunkers. Wow. And then he writes, millionaires don't believe in astrology, but billionaires do. That doesn't surprise me. They donate to charity only to get tax refunds. In reality, they don't donate. They get their money back. Not only that, but they also get credit for having donated. So, Bill Gates is generally perceived as this really nice, benevolent guy who's generous and wants to end malaria and all that. And for me, part of what's just so unimpressive about that, and I talked about this with another billionaire friend of Bill Gates, Nathan Myhrvold, who's the guy who receives a lot of the Bill Gates's donations. So even the donations go to their buddies' pockets, right? And I was like, look, you guys are going after, malaria, right? How about the big wicked problems? And he didn't have an answer for me. They go after problems that they can make money at. It's just tiny little problems that don't require a lot of their money, but that they can still make money at, or tax breaks at, or whatever, and get credit for. Myra, great to see you. Welcome back. Anyway, I'm just like, for me, it's kind of a boring topic, frankly, because they're so predictable. They're as predictable as any growing cancer. You know, they don't care about you or me or anyone other than themselves and maybe their family. They don't care. And because they're so addicted and so deep into the addiction, right? They're like a heroin addict who does 10 times as much heroin as your average addict or something like that. I mean, just like they're super addicted. And in such a state, it's just really hard to be creative. So for me, they're like talking about the tides, right? There are tide tables because the tides are so predictable, right? We could spend time talking about the tide tables, but it's like, what's the point? Look, understanding their behavior is very important because they control so many life-giving resources. And what they're doing with that is they're taking the life out of those life-giving resources and monetizing them. They're chopping down trees, they're fracking oil and gas out of the ground, they're fishing, and they're dumping their waste in the ocean because that's the cheapest place to dump it. They don't care, and they're very predictable. So let's, if we want to talk about predicting what they'll do, that's useful. But speculating that maybe they have good intentions is, for me, it just, and I don't say this with any disrespect or even any impatience. So let's have the conversation, right? If it's interesting and valuable for folks to have, let's have it. But at the end of the day, my prediction is that we'll discover that it's a waste of time. I just can't. I mean, look, if one of them wants to prove me wrong and, pop into the block party, fine, prove me wrong. And in fact, I think we probably will see some counterexamples pop out as they see their portfolios crashing, their ability to make more. Look, they've got plenty of money. There's no question about that. But they're addicted really to two things. One is ego, which is kind of proportional to how much money they have. But the second thing, and this is far more subtle, a lot of people miss this second one, but they're addicted to accumulation itself, to accumulating every day, seeing their portfolio get bigger, right? So they're addicted to size and they're addicted to growth, two different things, right? And I just got an idea why they're so into astrology. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of fun to talk about, but I mean, it feels to me like we've got such important work to do. And here's the thing, the best way to engage with these cats is to blow their minds with collective superintelligence. Get their attention with that. And then we can engage them in conversation. Once we get them in conversation, we can probably flip a few of them. So let's focus on that. But like speculating in relative darkness about what? The answer, I think, will always be whatever, until one of them shows up and engages in conversation, right? I mean, we can Google your favorite billionaire and find out what they're doing these days if you want. But I think they're all feeling like really, really strung out right now, because not only are they not making money, their portfolios are contracting, right? And that's really painful for someone for folks who are as addicted as they are.
Unless you founded Zoom, then you're just about the only part of the economy doing well.
Exactly. Or Amazon. Anyway, whatever. Again, whatever. I mean, we can talk about it for another hour, but I really believe the answer is going to be whatever. Again, not that they're not important, and not that we can't flip a bunch. And in fact, we could probably flip a majority of them. But the way that we're going to do that is not by speculating about them and wondering about them. It's by developing collective superintelligence and designing a badass future. That's how we'll get their attention and their money, ultimately.
We offer them candy. Something.
No, they'll see the power in what we're doing. It might take them a while, but they'll see it.
A lot of them seem to have a sweet tooth. But it would be interesting to get some of those CERN guys, CERN people on.
Which people?
Some of those CERN people involved in these hidden technologies.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, my dad actually helped design and build CERN in Switzerland in the 60s. The particle accelerators and whatnot.
I was curious about those things, because I mean, the investment there, you're talking into the trillions, and those are just massive human achievements. I mean, there's nothing that compares to what those people have done.
Yeah, but how did we get on to CERN all of a sudden? I'm just curious.
Well, talking about trillionaires, billionaires, and people who are involved in these projects.
No, the billionaires didn't fund CERN. The governments funded CERN.
Are you sure?
I don't know, but who cares? I mean, again, like what's the point? We've got a future to design. Look, we're almost dead. I'm just going to put it on the table, you guys and gals. We're almost dead. And I just kind of feel like we're just sort of speculating and telling stories when we've got collective superintelligence to design and build and a future to design and build so that we don't die.
But
Right.
My question is, these super intelligent people, why are they so blasé? Why are they so blasé?
They're not super intelligent, Emery. They're not. They're not super intelligent. They're normal people who got really
narrow-minded. They're narrow-minded, focused on very, very specific tasks. So they've been highly trained in one thing. So they can't expand their understanding. Is that what you're saying? They're not capable of expanding.
No, it's not that they're not capable. It's that they're just hyper-focused. They're hyper-focused. But here's the thing. Here's what I really want to say about them is this. Remember how, like, I don't know, 45 minutes ago or so, I proposed we have a moratorium on telling stories that basically, defended capitalism and billionaires? I'd like to make a follow-on addendum to that proposal, which is that we stop talking about billionaires, period, until and unless someone actually has an idea that says, hey, here's an idea. We could do this and da-da-da, and just like say it short and sweet and powerful. But I kind of feel like we're just like gossiping about billionaires or something. And what I'm saying is, since the Titanic is sinking and we have a very limited window of life in which to save life, why don't we focus on that? Why are we gossiping about billionaires? Again, if there were like a purpose to it, let's talk about the purpose first.
maybe it'll catch one of their ears, you know.
Well, I addressed that a few minutes ago, and I'd love to hear anyone who can prove me wrong or suggest something that might be more effective than this. Okay, but my proposal is, if we want to catch their ears, our most effective way to do that is not by gossiping about them, but by designing and building collective superintelligence, or playing our part in that, which is a very trim tab role at this point, and designing a better future and setting that in motion, supported by collective superintelligence. Some combination of the immediately preceding is what I think by far and away is what we would have the best chance of getting their attention with. And a distant third would be, you know, building a social network that has like lots of users. But by the time we have lots of users, we'll have so many billionaires working with us and working against us, and you name it, that we'll have gotten all their attention by then. So it's really the first two.
Cesare should be president by then.
Pardon me?
I said Cesare should be president by then.
All right, Oswald writes, collective superintelligence to billionaires refers to the intelligence required to collect super dividends. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. But what I'm saying is, at some point, see, actually what Oswald said is kind of profound, and it gets back to this question of focus. They're so focused on money. It's almost like their antennas to detect interesting stuff that's not financially related. Those antennas have shrunk. So, and just like the Mexican saying, al burro hay que gritarle. To the donkey, you have to yell at him, you know, to get something through to him. For the billionaires to get what we're doing, the signal's gonna have to be pretty loud, right? To the people who are in this room, the signal didn't have to be super loud because you were listening for it. Per Oswald's point, they're listening to the signal of money. The heroin addict has a scent for heroin. And when they're strung out, they don't have that much interest in anything else. So I think that's why for me, they're just kind of like, in a way, the least interesting bunch to focus on. Anyway, but happy to be proven wrong. If you have a different perspective, please tell me. And again, my proposal is, let's stop gossiping about billionaires, just to you know, to be a little bit unfair about it, but to make a point that, you know, I don't know, you know, in the final moments of MacGyver, you know, saving the train or something, I didn't see him. You don't see him stop working to gossip about billionaires or gossip about Hollywood actors or gossip about anything for that matter. He's in Action Jackson mode. That's my point. Let's get into Action Jackson mode, shall we? Anybody with me on that? Thumbs up if you are. Thumbs down if you totally disagree, or if you think I'm just being totally unfair or unreasonable or whatever. Just thumbs down. I see a thumbs up from Emery. And
I like that program, Mission Impossible. That was a pretty good series. Remember?
Yeah, there was the original series, and then there were the movies made by Tom Cruise. I think you're talking about the series.
Yeah, I'm talking about the series back in the day there.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at right now. You know, we're almost dead, but we got a little bit of time left. Let's not spend. I don't want to spend my last moments gossiping, and then, you know, spend the rest of eternity in hell with a pitchfork up my ass because I didn't do what I should have done when I could have done it, which is do our part to complete the architecture, design, and building of collective superintelligence and designing a future worth living into that we can actually get excited about.
Yeah, talking about that, Jamin, I was wondering, I realized earlier on in the week, I wanted to put out some links there for the party, and I wasn't too sure about the Zoom link, whether or not you normally change that link every week or whether that link remains the same. Because when I post different places, I leave the link, and then if it gets changed at last moment, then it screws up the post. So I was wondering, what's your policy there? Like what do you
So
recommend
in
do
the
you
past, we've changed links before, and for the past like
this week
block
it didn't
parties.
happen. This week it didn't happen.
Yes. So from now until like 56 weeks from now or something, it's going to be that link.
Okay.
Unless we need to change it for some reason because, I don't know, we're getting swarmed by a group of terrorizing whoever.
And,
But it should stay the same.
and the YouTube streams will now be on this channel, on the present channel now also, or will it go back to Jamin's main channel, or you have a choice to use the Radish channel also?
Right now, this channel's the only one that's working. My guess is we might have to go in and specifically request live streaming access from YouTube because I don't think they by default give that to everybody. You have to request it.
Right.
And they took it away when our stream went down at the last block party. At least briefly, they took away our live stream ability. So we might have to ask for that back. I don't know. I haven't looked into that yet.
Okay, it's just so now I'm aware of how I could proceed when I send out invitations or links on different social media. So.
All right, Oswald just typed in something disturbing. CNN just interviewed Sean Penn on how to best handle the coronavirus. It's a sign that collapse is now. And I have a hard time challenging Oswald's logic.
Do a bio on Sean Penn again. He's an actor, I remember.
No, not a bio on Sean Penn. Not a bio.
No, I mean who's he again?
Oh yeah, he's a famous actor. He did you ever see that movie Milk about Harvey Milk?
He turned director.
Mm-hmm.
They always do director gigs, even if they're not directing. But anyway,
I Am Sam, The Gunman. Those are some of his movies.
did you ever see the movie Milk about Harvey Milk?
Malk.
Okay. Did you ever see The Falcon and the Snowman back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay. He was the snowman. That was Sean Penn. So anyway, he's a very talented actor. He's also a total asshole, and has a giant ego. And so, I mean, what the hell? But to Oswald's point, what the hell is CNN doing interview about the coronavirus? I mean, it's like, all right, Fox News has the market cornered for certain types of females. How can we get eye candy for our viewers? Okay, let's go after some sexy Hollywood actor. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
They'll be bringing in Madonna.
Yeah, next they'll interview Madonna on, the latest advances in brain surgery, right? Or, George Clooney on the origin of the universe. I mean, that's what they're just going for. It's oh my God, I don't even know where to begin, but it is a sign, and I can't crack Oswald's logic there.
I remember Sean Penn had something on with Madonna back in the day.
Yeah, why don't we talk about that?
No.
I mean, look. There's two routes we could take. We can throw in the towel on life and just gossip, or we can get to work doing something about saving life on Earth. Anyway, I vote for the latter, and so here's what I'd like to talk about. Getting down to business on that is I had this big, we had this big revelation on Tuesday, precisely during the Solution Club, which we do every Tuesday, and the link is up on the homepage of radish.org beneath the beneath the Block Party banner. But anyway, at the Solution Club, I started out being frustrated that why is it taking so long for us to build out collective superintelligence? And then it hit me that, wait a second, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of public Zoom video conference meetings like this one, right? Obviously none quite like this one, but within a half country mile or so of this one, there's a smattering of, probably more than a smattering, probably thousands of Zoom video conference meetings where people are getting together and talking about our problems and what we can do about it publicly. Our problems generally, right? I mean, our problems, just the general space of our problems. They might be talking about this problem or that, or a cluster of problems over here. But you guys get my point, and gals, that, we're not alone, basically.
I did a search, Jamin, for Zoom meeting. They're like, you're doing the Zoom on you're streaming it on YouTube, right? So I did a search on YouTube, thinking that there would be a lot of other people doing similar things, doing the Zoom and having it stream live on YouTube. And for the life of me, I couldn't get all that many. And the ones that I did find, okay, it was very social. Okay, it wasn't geared towards topics like what we're trying to talk about, right? It's very I don't know. It's very more private is what I guess. It's not something you would actually desire right away to get involved in, You'd have to be just very connected with the people that were in those meetings. It's not like everybody could come. Like what we're doing, everybody's invited. We welcome everyone,
Yeah. So we've become aware of a few others, like this Forsyth Institute or something in San Francisco, and then there's the What's Next, or what's that thing called, Nolan?
Now what?
Now what?
And I think it's the Foresight Institute.
Foresight Institute. Okay, thank you, Nolan. So we're starting to find a few out there, but here's my point. So Emery, point taken. You're not finding a bunch of these live streaming on YouTube.
Well, not on YouTube, but I might be missing them. I mean, I'm not an investigator, but
okay, all right. So with that full disclaimer that you just said, you're not an investigator, you're not an expert in this. You may not be finding ones that are there. So let's back away from that, and simply, here's a hypothesis. Okay, I think there's a lot more meetings of this general nature going on than we're aware of, and of the meetings that are happening, I presume only a very tiny fraction are streaming live on either YouTube or Facebook. Look, it's one thing for me to get together with a half a dozen friends and say, hey, let's have a Zoom video conference. Let's even record it and let's talk about these things. And then after the meeting, we can decide whether we delete the recording or publish it or only share it among our friends, okay? But I think it's a very tiny percentage that are actually live streaming their Zoom video conference, okay? So it doesn't surprise me that you've had trouble finding them. It's either because there are very few there or they're hard to find, but I think there's probably very few.
I want to keep it private for the most part.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. They're keeping it private. I mean, they might record it, and only if they really like how it turned out would they publish it. So, but no matter how you slice it, here's the bottom line. Here's where I'm going with that. Whereas a couple of months ago, there was probably very little of that going on. Now we're hearing about it every couple of days. We're hearing about something new going on in this general space. Okay. I mean, Michael Gosney, who was on a few hours ago, he and some friends organized something, and like, I don't know, hundreds of people came, probably over 1,000. And, but that was more like it was a Zoom meeting. I mean, they got a room with 500 people in it, and it just filled up just like that. And there were probably 500 more who couldn't get in. But the bottom line is these meetings are happening more and more, okay? Whereas a couple of months ago, they basically weren't happening at all for two reasons. Number one, people were too busy to get on Zoom video conferences. And number two, the only people who were on Zoom video conferences, they were basically doing business or something, or socializing, but not having like a serious knockdown, drag out, let's get to the bottom of this, and solve our problems in a very serious way, right? So whereas we were basically pretty much all alone a couple of months ago, now there's a bunch of meetings like this in the general domain of let's get together and apply our collective intelligence to solve the world's problems. At least get a start on it by talking about it. So there's now a whole bunch of these conversations. I don't know, I'm just guessing that somewhere on the order of thousands. It might be hundreds, it might be tens of thousands, but I'm guessing that since there's billions of people, and most of us would kind of like to live, and collapse is happening, that I'm just imagining that there's,
I agree with you.
There's got to be many thousands of us, if not tens of thousands of us, who are initiating or joining these conversations. But it's still not a huge number. Even if it's thousands, that's not a very big number, right? But it's certainly significant.
You know what I noticed, Jamin? I've noticed, like, I agree with you. I believe that there's a lot more, and I think it's manifested itself in how the system is working. Have you noticed that? I mean, in the beginning there, a while back, our communications were really good, like exceptional. Very right on all the time. And then lately, you know, we've had glitches like we're not getting, like somebody's talking and it's a bit muffled or it freezes for a few seconds. It's more and more of that. So that could be a strain on the usage of the system. It could be, because it wasn't like that before. So until the company, you know, has to gear up a little bit more to handle the you know, the load. There must be some impact there.
Jamin, you look frozen on my end. Oh, never
No, I'm
mind.
here. I was just chilling, listening to Emery and then also reading what Oswald wrote. Let's see. Anyway, so let me, if I may, I'd like to get back to, go ahead, Nolan.
I just wanted to say I searched. This is very significant, actually. So in YouTube, you can search specifically the descriptions of videos. So what's in the description, and you can filter by what videos are live. What the fuck? I'm just realizing I should find us. Because what I did is I looked for all live streams that have the word Zoom in the description. And 4 of them came up.
And we weren't one of the 4.
No.
Okay. Is Zoom in our description? I presume it is.
Well, the link to get in the meeting has Zoom in it. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't count that as a word.
Well, why don't you search for some word that is in our description that's not part of a hyperlink and see if you can find us.
Well, the reason I did that, well, yeah, I will do that.
I did a post on Minds, MINDS.com, and the nice thing about that platform is that you could boost the post. So by boosting a post, you invest like one token for a boost, and that gives you like 1,000 views or whatever. It kind of boosts your post to get some more notice. You know, now you can't just make a post and let it just flow in there. You have to boost.
It's not showing up. I can't find it.
Pay to play.
All right. Anyway, the bottom line is that our data from YouTube is inconclusive as to whether there are a half dozen or 10,000 of these things happening at any given time. But I think what evidence there is suggests that there's probably not a ton, okay? And, but we know from personal experience and from, you know, hearing about more and more of these that there are some. not a ton, but some. And so here's where I'm going with that. Okay, are you guys ready for this? I want to get to. There's a punchline that I've been waiting about 10 or 15 minutes to get to, and I just want to ask your blessing to get to that punchline, if I may. All right, thank you. Here it is. Given that there are, I'm just going to call it a small bunch. There are a small bunch of meetings like this one that are not necessarily broadcasting, but that are recording, are not live streaming, but are recording. And there's a smaller subset that are live streaming as well. And my point is this: if we take this small bunch of meetings that are in our general class, okay, of actual conversations about things that matter and that are talking about transformation and saving life on earth, et cetera, et cetera. Given that there's a small bunch of them, there is an opportunity for us to connect together this small bunch of conversations, right? To get it connected. And
that'll be AI's job.
Well, so I have a request, Emery, which is that we not talk about AI right now, because what I'm talking about is a step that's way before bringing in any kind of AI, right? A very preliminary, actually, no, you know what? I'm sorry. AI is definitely relevant. I'm sorry, I went somewhere in my mind, but I hadn't spoken it yet, and I apologize for that. So AI is definitely a very important part of connecting all these conversations together. It'll be a huge part of it in the future. But in terms of immediate steps, I think we have an opportunity to simply create, for lack of a better word, a Craigslist of these conversations that are out there, right? You know, for starters, a listing of them, and then as that list grows, we start to break it down. We start to organize it into topics, right? Like cooling the planet, stopping coronavirus, ending world hunger, right? Transforming our living arrangements, sustainable, living arrangements for humanity, along the lines of what we saw several hours ago with Mike Highstone. I forget the guy. Pardon me.
Upstone.
Okay, thank you. In Austria with his super cool, ultra sustainable, ultra low footprint living arrangements for humanity. Anyway, basically, regardless of what the topic space is, right? I mean, as long as it's, and in this conversation right now, we're in a way sort of playing with the definition of who we are, right? We know who we are as the Collective Intelligence Block Party, but what is the space that we are a member of, right? What is the superset that we're a member of, right? And I've just kind of been, groping with my words and saying stuff like, public conversations that address saving life on Earth and transforming life on Earth, and possibly even talking about collective intelligence, right? But that's, I feel like I'm just trying to describe it, but not so much name it, but just describe it. Is that communicating? Am I connecting with y'all? Or am I?
I used to do some projects there with a fellow, a colleague of mine. His name was Tony. And, I used to say, why not? And he said, well, that's my name. And anyway, it's a great idea. And, Craigslist, they already do have listings, headings that will encompass these kinds of social activities. So if I had something going, something happening, I would make a post, right, or a Kijiji or whatever one of these places are, that are operating. So, I mean, don't have to buy and sell thing, right? Particularly.
Actually, you know what? You just gave me an idea, Emery. What if we were to go to meetup.com, right? Because obviously nobody's having in-person meetups at Starbucks cafes in Manhattan.
Steele,
huh?
Mr. Steele, Robert Steele, he loves that platform, and they banned him, or they minimized his reach at some point in what he was doing with his political activities, right? So yeah, meetup, it's a good idea.
Well, I actually haven't revealed the idea yet. My idea is that we go to meetup.com, which again is not really organizing physical meetups these days because nobody's meeting up in Starbucks in Manhattan to have meetings about anything. That's simply not happening. So whatever is happening on meetup.com is probably happening on Zoom. So I am hypothesizing. Here's my hypothesis. My hypothesis is that whatever meetings used to be happening, right? Hello, Ben, welcome. Whatever meetings used to be happening organized via meetup.com are now, basically somebody blew a whistle and said, hey, everybody, the party's moving to Zoom, right? It doesn't exactly take a stroke of genius to figure that one out. In fact, a week or so ago, there was this New York Times article about Zoom and how basically the party's moving to Zoom, right? That might as well have been the headline of the article, right, Nolan? The party's moving to Zoom, right? And
there's several articles like that now, by the way.
That doesn't surprise me one bit. So Oswald's just cracking me up. But anyway,
I used to know a fellow, his name was John, okay? He would be able to watch 19 different channels and follow each one. I mean, his IQ was like way, way up there, right? And you just try to understand that, what it takes to watch. Like you want to be involved in meetings, right? Like several of them, right? But you can't do them all at the same time. Of course, they're not all scheduled at the same time, but there will be some overlap. I mean, this guy, he was able to zoom in on 19 different things. His brain was open 19 frames.
Well, I'd love to have folks like that in our community, but you know what? At this point, I will settle for mere mortals because we have such urgency to solve our problems that I think it's okay to recruit whoever we can get. Back to that topic, okay?
His family was Illuminati, by the way.
It doesn't surprise me. Anyway, back to meetup.com. So to the extent that really two things to say about that. Number one, whatever meetings that used to be happening in person on these topics are now happening in Zoom. But more importantly, given that everyone's stuck at home, no one can go meet up anywhere, people who even like used to be blogging about all this or Facebook posting or tweeting or whatevering or podcasting, I bet a lot of people who were in any way, shape, or form in the conversation 2 months ago about saving life on Earth and the world's problems, I bet a significant percentage of them are now having Zoom meetings about it. And I would bet that the number of people who are aware of the world's problems and that they're serious and life-threatening is growing exponentially as we speak. Go ahead, Nolan.
I was just going to say I found a tool which I had not known about before. It may have been created pretty recently. Wouldn't surprise me. I think we're going to see a lot of Zoom-related tools and things evolving now. There's probably a bunch of stuff I need to get caught up on. But this one is called Switchboard, and it allows you to, it's basically doing what, it's basically Restream, which is what we've been using. But I think it's different in that, this capability I think is significant. Basically, if we wanted to have a conversation with somebody from another group or organization that has their own show, we can do a mashup and still broadcast it to everyone's social platforms. So like, okay, Radish has all their social media channels, and then, Kiko Lab has all of theirs, and there's a separate audience. Well, you could still engage both audiences with the same exact live content.
You're basically talking about crossing streams.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And then the crossed streams go both into toilet A and toilet B. Okay. Pardon the analogy. Okay.
Which in my mind has a kind of nice, not possessive, competitive thing about it.
It's a sharing. It's like, hey, I'll show you mine if you show me yours, right? It's a sharing. We each, and the super cool thing about that is their audience would hear about, in our case, the CI Block Party, and our audience would hear about whatever the heck they're up to, right? And whoever they are. No, I think it's awesome. So that's one example. Wow.
How is the time divided up? I mean, when one is streaming, the other one is like just staying silent, or like how do they share the time on a cross stream?
I think you may be misunderstanding me, but I might be misunderstanding your question. It's just that, let's say, okay, we have the Block Party, and then somebody else has their show. Oh, this is a good example, actually. Okay, so I think how we could do this is we could have one stream that's the Block Party, and then somebody comes on for a segment of the block party, right? It's still a part of the block party stream, but then potentially, I don't know that we can do this, but this seems pretty feasible. For that period of time, it could stream to both our channel at the block party. It's just continuous, but then it could also stream to this other content creator's channel. And we'd be in the same Zoom room, is my point.
That's how I understood. That's how I understand it.
Okay.
So you both have to, open up your channel, and you're on at the same moment, and it's going to both sides. So that's the moment of sharing. So you focus on whatever topic is at hand, or you give the opportunity for one to express, and you sit back and take it in. You consume, and vice versa. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. But in the end, it's a matter of exposure, right? So, if one has a lot more, subscribing individuals, then you're going to get those people. There's going to be an awareness that's established there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big benefit. And but anyway, that's just but now back to the bigger picture, right? Is that there's all these conversations that are happening in this space, and I think that by creating a list of them and categorizing them, and posting them on, essentially, it's almost like a meetup.com for radical transformationalists out to save life on Earth, right? It's a virtual meetup.com for basically people like us. And we could do that with Snack Bar. We could call it a social network, the social network of actual conversations. But the risk there, the downside with that, I think, is that people might say, well, I don't want to be part of yet another social network. I'm a part of too many social networks as it is. That's one possible downside, right? Versus, I think, using Craigslist as a metaphor, and that's kind of getting back to what I was talking about earlier as an analogy or whatever the hell, is that, like with Craigslist, it's just valuable information of stuff that's on offer, including events. It's maybe more like Eventbrite would be, it'd be like an Eventbrite of these radical transformational conversations, right? Anyway, regardless of the analogy, you guys are, I hope y'all are getting what I'm saying, which is that it would be powerful to have an aggregation of these, put them in one place, and even categorize them if it made sense, or when it makes sense. And then as we do that for each of these different meetings, right? Video conferences, Zoom meetings. For each different Zoom meeting, we reach out to the organizers of that Zoom meeting, or maybe even pop into the meeting itself. Now, there's a way to make a splash, but in one way or another, reach out to them, to the organizers of their Zoom meeting, and say, hey, we just put you up on the list, and blank. And that's where I don't know where to go next with the conversation with them, right? But I think a good starting point is, hi, let's just say it's Snack Bar that we're putting this up on, but just to give it a name for the moment, a placeholder. Hi, I'm Jamin. We're from Snack Bar, and we just we found out about your meeting, and it sounds super cool. And we've seen a little bit of your previous recordings, and we've put you up on Snack Bar. And here's what Snack Bar is all about. And here's our mission. Here's why we're doing this. We're doing this because we believe in collective superintelligence, and we believe that this is the fastest way possible to manifest and build and exponentiate collective superintelligence. Because can you imagine when instead of thousands of people on these Zoom video conferences, it's millions? Millions? Well, that'll never happen. We're in the midst of collapse. People will try things that might save their life in the midst of collapse. Granted, most people are still going to be at home watching CNN and, and laughing when Rachel Maddow speaks, right? I grant you that. But, okay, so take those 99% of people off the table. It still leaves 1%. And 1% of 7.7 billion people is a lot of people. 77 million to be precise. I know 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it's, in the case of humans on planet Earth in 2020, it's 77 million, right? It's a lot of people, okay? And I'd like to think that more than 1% of humanity in our quest for survival is going to gravitate towards what's going to become increasingly known as the place where humanity is coming together to see how we might save life on Earth, including our own butoxes.
Janet?
Yeah.
You're familiar with Q and that phenomenon, right?
Q?
Q. There's a big following. There's a big following on the internet of Q.
Okay, I don't doubt that it has a big following. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell it is. What is this Q?
Okay. So Anonymous? You've heard of Anonymous?
I know of the concept of Anonymous. I don't know of a service called Anonymous.
No, it's not a service, but the concept of Anonymous, where you have that identity, okay, attached to what's behind that information provided by Anonymous. All right. So I mean, these there's certain concepts like Q, Anonymous, and here, like what we're doing. I mean, we have a certain function and our plan here to save all life on Earth. I mean, we could be like, I'm not anonymous. I'm real here. Or you could be J, instead of Q.
Welcome, good vegans who have just joined us. Good to see you.
Hey, I invited my friend Adam because he was having a vegan block party from 6 to 9. And he's my best friend. He's my vegan friend, but he's my best friend. But I invited him to come on here because I was like, wait a minute, we should be on the vegan block party. He goes, this is a vegan block party. I'm like, no, there's already a vegan block party going on since 6 in the morning. We got to go on that one. So he's coming in.
Wait a second. There's a separate vegan block party?
Okay, no, what happened was, I'll just like make it a little bit clearer. My best friend sent a group text to some of us, and he said, I'm going to have a party, a Zoom party on Friday night from 6 to 9. And I was like, okay. But I forgot about this. I wasn't thinking about looking at my calendar. And then whatever happened. So yeah, we're here. He's going to come in. So I was like, yeah, I listened to Dr. Rao talk from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today. It was so awesome. And then Jane Velez was talking about Dr. Rao a lot. Yeah. Anyway. So I just wanted to let you guys know, hopefully my friend Adam will come in here and sing.
Oh, awesome. And you know what? We should get Jane onto the block party, or she could even like broadcast from the block party, right? Because we just figured out there's a way to basically merge two different.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think I was muted before.
Oh, okay. Hey, Adam, how you doing?
He's my
Nice.
best friend, and I love Adam so much.
Yeah, I had a block party, and that's why I have my background.
Was it a Zoom block party?
Yes, exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Adam is really smart too.
I just a couple of days ago, I was invited to some kind of gaming event that was with Zoom, and then all of a sudden, I was like, you know what, this is an opportunity for the vegan community to get together, and so I was like posting it on my Facebook. I sent texts to people, and I was like, you know what, let's try it, and I paid for the full version, so yeah, I like it.
And may I ask, Adam, how did it go? Like, how many people came? Was it fun?
I had people going in and out, and I found that some people were kind of camera shy, and I was like, well, you don't have to be on camera, if you don't feel comfortable, but come over. And they're like, oh, well, some people were saying that they're not very tech savvy and they don't want to get involved with it. And I was like, okay. I mean, it is what it is. I had maybe 5 people on and off between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. But I only give them about 3 days worth of notice. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, join the Block Party Club. In fact, is it something you're thinking about doing on a regular basis?
I want to. I want to at least get together with people, at least on this platform, because I think it's fun.
Totally. And especially since you're friends with Sarah, Sarah, I'm sure could could totally hook you up with so many.
Adam. So from now on, this is the block party that you go on Friday. So this is the party. You bring your block party to this block party. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, because this is already the block party that exists. So we just bring people into this. We're going to tell Jane. Jane probably doesn't even know about this block party. She's probably watching Rachel Maddow right now.
Do you mind if I advertise for your block party in my block party?
Go for it, dude. Totally.
Just in case people are coming in or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
No, and in fact, look, and if you do yours as a separate thing, which
no, he's not. He's not doing his as a separate thing.
Yeah.
We all want to go to this block party, Jamin. Your block party.
Well, thank you.
Look, have a vegan block party.
Just to be clear, everyone is welcome here. Everyone's welcome, and
okay.
So I'm not trying to discourage y'all from joining, right? the more the merrier, literally. I mean, that's the whole nature of a block party. But here's what I am suggesting, just as an idea, okay? The idea is that if you did a vegan block party as a separate thing, then people would then be able to kind of go party hopping, right? Between our parties.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Because see, like our main focus here is on developing collective super intelligence, which is, you know, to save life on Earth. And one of the main vectors for achieving that is to get the whole world to go vegan, right?
Right.
But it's one of the main vectors, but it's certainly not the only one. And so basically, veganism is an important topic for us, but it's not like the main focus right now. In fact, we have Dr. Sailesh Rao from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. He's been on every block party. So that's essentially like our big vegan spotlight, if you will, right? Is that time frame. And then the 2 hours before that, the theme is the divine feminine. And that's, you know, a fairly vegan heavy 2 hour time slot. And so it's really from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. that we really have a lot of veganism in our programming, you could say. But at this hour of the evening, you know, from 6 to 9 p.m. or, you know, later, we tend to go deeper into collective superintelligence generally, and the strategy for developing collective superintelligence. And because see, in our world, and of course different people have different perspectives on it, so I don't want to speak for everyone, but in general terms, our strategy is to develop collective superintelligence first. So that's kind of like the first and most urgent thing to do. And then we apply that collective superintelligence to getting the whole world to go vegan, ending world hunger, stopping the coronavirus, cooling the planet through solar radiation management, and many other really, really good things like those. Those are kind of like the big four or the big five. In fact, let me give you kind of an analogy. So there's collective superintelligence, and then I'm going to show that as like a fist. And then there's all the things that we want to apply it to: veganism, ending hunger, stopping the coronavirus, cooling the planet, yada, yada. Okay? So
Okay.
Fist and fingers. Here's the analogy I want to make. Abraham Lincoln has this quote. He said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. Collective superintelligence is sharpening the axe. It's making us sharper, right? It's kind of like if you had to solve some super complex math problem that was just insanely complex, like postgraduate level kind of thing, PhD level math problem. You could sit down and just try to solve it, or you could study up on the relevant, you know, methodology to solve such problems and then try to solve it, right? It's sharpening the axe. Okay. So that's why I put this as a fist and the other is fingers. They're just fundamentally different things. This is the axe. This is what we want to apply the axe to.
Right. That way we're all on the same page.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give you the big picture. And so veganism is one of the fingers, right? But sequentially, we first sharpen the axe. Notice Abraham Lincoln didn't say I would spend the last 4 hours sharpening the axe. right?
Right.
He spent the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. So it's a sequential thing. So our kind of our focus right now is on the sharpening of the axe. And you are absolutely welcome to be in this conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, originally when I did this, it was because I kind of thought about how people were just clawing into the supermarkets and grabbing everything, and they're afraid. And I had this idea of, why don't we have something where we're sharing the things that we need, because some people have too much and some people have very little. And then I thought, well, maybe how do I reach these people, because no one's really meeting, like I have meetups on meetup.com. And one of the things I was thinking about was using Zoom as a way to contact, other vegans, and because I know like vegans have different needs, and obviously, we don't want meat and dairy and honey and stuff, and so I just figured that's a good way to like get us to barter, or at least share what extra we have. So
Yeah, brilliant. Love it. Adam, that is so crazy cool.
yeah.
Love it. Hey, Sarah.
Wait, what did Adam just say? How did I miss that? I was like sitting right here.
Oh, I was just telling them about the idea of sharing the things that we need, the resources that we need.
Oh yeah, Well, we're gonna have that like virtual thing, right? Where we trade. We meet somewhere like in.
I wanted to do it at Vanessa's place, because.
Oh yeah, Laura. We're gonna do it at Laura
Laura's
Wellness.
Wellness. Yeah.
Does Jamin know about Alora Wellness?
Yeah.
We need to get Vanessa in on here. Vanessa, he didn't meet Vanessa because she went the first. Jamin didn't go the first year to Vegan 2026.
Right.
He only went the second year. Right, Jamin?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Vanessa, our friend, she went to Yale and she's really smart, and she used to live in Paris, and now she opened up a Laura Wellness Center in Los Angeles in Altadena, which is in the valley, but whatever, we still go there because we love Vanessa. And she has yoga, she has this Bimmer machine that she did, she has, what else, Adam? Everything you can think of.
Yeah, she's
whole wellness center. It's incredible.
She's
the vegan wellness center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, awesome. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
Sarah, I just wanted to say thank you for bringing Adam to the party.
Adam's amazing, and he likes to stay up late.
Awesome. Well, Adam, welcome home, brother. You've come to the right place.
Okay, great. No, I'm always happy to hear. I like some of the philosophy that you were talking about collective intelligence. I've heard of that buzzword being used, and yeah, I like the concept of hopefully like getting people more inspired, and being able to solve problems using collective intelligence, because everyone is great at some things and they're poor at others, and to be able to use the best of mankind as far as intelligence is a great idea.
Totally. Thank you. It's a great idea, and I would say that it's not obvious how to do it at first glance.
I mean, the internet is like somewhere closer to that, I feel. I mean, like I feel like we are, whatever it is, it must be via the internet, I have a feeling. And I think some of the work that Elon Musk is doing right now, where he wants to get people to communicate, be able to communicate with AI and like get that interface going. That might have something to do with it. I think it's a mixture of those two, the internet and
Neuralink.
yeah, the Neuralink, yeah. So
Well, I'd like to respond to that, because me and Jamin have kind of a running joke, you could say, which is that basically in all Musk's forward thinking, it feels to me that he's overlooking a really crucial medium, which is what we're using right now. And I would argue that there's a whole segment of artificial intelligence waiting to be unlocked that is not only going to be easier to unlock than what he's trying to unlock with Neuralink, but I think it's going to be the precursor to that. And once Neuralink is like really working, the things that artificial intelligence will have learned from networked conversations and all of us speaking about all these different topics from different angles and forming relationships with each other, learning from that data set, the stuff that AI learns from that can just be used then as like a, part of a foundation for, if you just think of AI, generally just all the AI that exists, I think there's a foundation that's about to be created through this medium and integrating artificial intelligence with it, and then that will merge with what Musk is doing.
yeah, but you have to understand that artificial intelligence is a different way of thinking than the way we think, because artificial intelligence is very raw, and it's like without emotion, and to integrate it together is not necessarily going to be easy. I think the works is different from just the normal programming. Like it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to work like side by side maybe first, and then we'll find a way to integrate it. I think that quantum computers are going to make a big difference once we get that technology upgraded. Like right now, it's really in its infancy, but yeah. But it's all really interesting. Like like I said, I'm not an expert or anything, but I enjoy the conversation.
It's a pretty crazy time we're living in.
Yeah. I mean, right now, I just feel like I'm in a B movie. Like it doesn't seem real. But I'm thinking maybe it's a way for people to slow down and kind of like
That
understand what's going on. Huh?
you know that movie that we watched for vegan movie night? Jamin, you would love this. You and Melissa and everybody on here would love this, because we have vegan movie night and we all get together, and just like normal people would have movie night, we have vegan movie night. And me and Adam would always order vegan pizza
Okay.
or cruisers. But to Adam, what were you just saying? Because I wanted to say something. I'm inviting John. He's going to come on. I'm inviting John.
Okay. Our host disappeared on us.
No, Jamin's there. He's muted
Oh.
himself.
I'm here.
He's
Oh,
not
okay.
rude. He's not rude like me and interrupts everything. But look, I'm trying to work on something else, Adam, but I won't be on so much longer. But what were we just talking about? Because I was trying to make a really good point. It was something important.
We were just talking about generally like what's going on right now in the state of the world and super.
Oh no, that's what I was going to tell you. You know that movie that we watched that Emick showed us called They Live? Jamin, have you ever seen that movie They Live?
Yeah, it's a cult film from the 90s.
It is so about vegan. Okay, it's not about vegan, but it is. So it's this. You have to watch it. You and Melissa have to watch They Live. It is like, it's just incredible. I mean, I can't tell you what it's about because I don't want to ruin it, but it is so good. You'll get it.
I think it's more about
All
Big Brother.
like people like following the, like.
I think it's more about Big Brother and who is in control of Big Brother. Who is Big Brother? That's what They Live is about.
Well, they see all the advertisements and they follow them, remember?
I know. I'm just saying that's what I feel like They Live is about. It's about Big Brother and who is Big Brother. That's the big question.
So John wants to know if he can watch this or if he can join the block party, Jamin from Radish.
Yes. If he goes to radish.org and clicks on the banner, okay, the block party banner.
If you
click
literally on the homepage, radish.org, it'll say Collective Intelligence Block Party, and right under that there's a Zoom link.
Yeah.
And there's also a YouTube link if they just want to watch.
Yeah, I have the link. Okay, I'm going on mute. Bye, y'all. Sorry for interrupting, but I just want Jamin and everybody watch that movie They Live. I'll type it in the chat. It's so good.
Yeah, it's an old cult film. It's a John Carpenter movie. And it's like a movie that's about, do you know what's really helping you make your decisions, or do you know who Big Brother is? Do you know? It's that kind of question. Who's influencing you, I should say, your decisions. Sorry, I'm eating some vegan chips. But
Can't party without snacks.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Party without snacks. Cheers.
Yeah. I got this one. I don't know if it's a vegan nacho cheese snack. It's called I1. I got them online. They have like so many flavors, and they're all vegan. Like this is barbecue flavored, mesquite barbecue, sweet Dijon. This one is just like a spicy tapatio. Yeah, there's another spicy one. But, they're good.
Are we all
What's the next
snacking on
topic?
something or what?
Huh?
What's Mary eating?
These are spicy Tamarindo. I'm pretty sure Jamin knows them.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
like the yellow stick, and then it has like chili.
Yeah, I love tamarindo.
Oops.
Yeah.
Tamarindo is the name of a place in Costa Rica where I used to surf.
Oh wow. Well,
Tamarindo, right?
yeah, tamarindo, and in
Tamarindo is a little city in Costa Rica.
and it's also this fruit. Well, it's kind of it's a very unique fruit. It's like a very spicy kind of fruit, a lot of flavor to it, and they mix it with chili, not a very hot chili, but just more of a flavorful, make it pop kind of chili, and it's just a very delicious snack. There you go.
Yeah, Mexicans, this is what they taught us to eat since we were little. So we like to sacrifice our tongue and our mouths and our lips with spicy food. Jamin, if you consider yourself a Mexican, I'm pretty sure you eat spicy too.
Yo soy muy mexicano y yo soy de buen diente y como mucho especie. Muchas gracias. What a cool block party. We're all chowing down.
yeah. Well,
I can't find the link to send John to get on here. I just can't find it anywhere. I had it like 1,000 times. I've sent it to people, and I just don't know why I can't find it right now. Frustrated.
Here, we'll paste it in the chat. Hold on, Sarah. Hold on.
No, because I'm using a different device. I have 4 devices. I have a laptop, an iPad, and 2 iPhones. Because I do moderating for Jane Velez, so I have to use a lot of devices. So the only way I can get that, well, I could get it off the chat and send it to John. Yeah, I could get it off the chat and do it from my iPad. That's fine. So, first world problem. Ugh.
All right, let me paste it there real quick.
It's there.
It's there. Okay, thanks, Dylan.
so I'm running my my Zoom off of my phone, and then I'm running this Zoom off of my laptop because just in case people show up, I have to be available.
I'm pretty sure that since you said it was from 6 to 9, that your party is over. I know Pam will probably come in, but just invite Pam over to this one. Just bring over everybody onto this one, dude. It's the best one.
All right, everybody. Hey, dudes. The party's moving over to the CI block party, dude. Bum, bum. Bum, bum.
I guess it's because I invited a few people. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic for a second.
Okay, I'm going to walk Boomer because I am responsible for him and he's my beagle child. So I'm gonna go take him out, even though it's really cold in Los Angeles. It's like freezing here. It's like windy and cold. I'm gonna like put like 5 layers on and go take him outside. Adam, I'll be back. I gotta walk him, and I don't want to take my iPad because obviously I'm not carrying my iPad around outside at night. All right, so you guys have your boy party with just Myra's. I have to leave her, only woman here. Yeah, have your boy block party.
All right, we'll have our boy block party. But make sure you come back, Sarah.
I might, but I mean, I'll come back for a few minutes, but I can't really, I have like such a bad ADHD that I always want to just be talking to everybody on the block party, and like it doesn't work that way usually. You're supposed to be like waiting for people, I think, back and forth. I'm not sure. I just know that like the other meetings, like we have like major rules about crosstalk. All right, I'll see y'all soon.
No, yeah, come back, Sarah, and don't worry about crosstalk or anything like that. Just come back. Oh boy, good times, good stuff. Super cool. I just love that you came up with the idea of a vegan block party via Zoom. I mean, it's so crazy cool. And you got like this super awesome vision of like sharing and exchanging food. How cool is that? Really, really cool, Adam. Man, good for you. Oh, you're muted, Adam. You're muted.
All right, invited a friend of mine. See how it goes. All right, so to join us.
All right, I'll just hang up.
All right, sounds good. Another vegan to our group.
Yeah.
Hey, Pam.
Hey. So,
She's
what
a
is-
spirit.
This is a
Spirit. Wow.
Hi.
I like spirits. Welcome.
I see. Thank you. So, what is this one about? Vegan getting together, or is it?
Actually, it's veganism is only one part of it. It's about super intelligence, but I think everyone in the group so far is vegan. So, but yeah, super intelligence is like collective intelligence of getting everyone in the world to think of a solution to our day-to-day problems, kind of thing.
I see.
From what I understand, anyways.
That sounds neat, interesting.
And James is our host.
Okay. Hey, James.
It's Jamin, and
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And how do you pronounce your name, Miss?
Pam.
Oh, Pam.
Yeah, Pam. Yeah.
Very good. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you.
Welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
This is a safe space, a very friendly space. Sometimes we get, into kind of intense conversations, but always respectful, always compassionate, caring, and we're just absolutely committed to saving as much of life on Earth as we possibly can, whether it's rescuing animals from industrial agriculture and captivity.
Sarah Siegel.
Yeah, she just told me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarah Siegel, she had to go for a bit, but she'll be right back.
Right.
Janan, he's the one that's the host.
Right.
And Nolan Straight is another person. There was a woman here earlier, but she left.
Okay, I just Mara. I think that's how you spell my name, right? May.
Oh, there's other people here too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Introduce me to other people. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone wave to Pam.
Well,
So you know that. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Welcome.
I'm fine, thank you.
That's Maya Air.
Maya. How do you say your name?
It's Myra.
Oh,
Or
Myra,
Mira.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you can call me
Sorry.
whatever you want.
No, I don't want to, be mean or anything, pronounce
Wasn't
what
intentionally.
means. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maya. Okay. I had a friend named Maya a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Awesome. Yeah. And who is this James Desmond? I think was.
James Desmond is a very, very dear friend, brother of ours, and he is way off in Cork, Ireland,
Wow.
in Southern Ireland. Yeah.
Okay.
And because it's like 8 hours later in Ireland right now, it's like 5:30 in the morning or something like that over there. So he's asleep, but he leaves his phone connected so that he can be getting these messages kind of subliminally. That's sort of a joke. I think he just stays connected just because he wants to stay connected or something. He's super cool.
Okay.
Anyway, hey, I just saw his thumb go up.
So did I.
I think what he's got, he's got like Neuralink implanted in his brain. And so even while he's sleeping, he's like giving us thumbs up and stuff like that.
Okay. So, this is your chat, right? Like this is your.
Yeah. It's Janen's
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
Well, not just mine. There's a whole community that together
You're hosting.
Yeah, I'm hosting. That's true.
Okay,
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. I am your honored host. I'm here on the back deck, just enjoying the evening air and from time to time enjoying a little vegan smoke.
I see. Awesome, I guess. Cool.
As long as it's vegan, says Pam, it's all good.
Exactly.
Okay.
For me, I'm kind of like, I can't go outside, so I'm kind of like, if I go outside right now, I will be freezing my butt off. Because I live in Canada, so yeah, it's pretty cold there.
Oh, what part of Canada?
Alberta.
Alberta.
Yeah.
Where in Alberta?
Calgary.
You're in Calgary?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Listen, Pam, listen to this.
Okay.
One of our most dedicated regular members his name is Miles. He's super cool. And he lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Really?
Yep.
All right. That's awesome. That's the first person I know on this chat that's actually from where I'm from. Cool.
Hey, we crossed a major milestone when we're introducing Canadians in Calgary to other Canadians in Calgary.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, we should put a subtitle to the block party called Calgary Connects.
Yeah. Then you have a whole bunch of Calgarians all connecting and a bunch of Albertas all connecting and from Lethbridge, Saskatoon, and have everybody from Alberta. Funny.
Awesome. Yeah, no, he's super cool. You'll enjoy meeting him via Zoom, of course. And yeah, wow. No, it's just super cool for all of us to be able to come together. I mean, this is, we've had people from, I haven't counted the countries lately, but it's got to be at least 16, I don't know, maybe 14, 15, 16 countries.
Nice.
Have been participating in the block party. In fact, shall we do a little count of or a little list? Shall we list off the countries?
Sure.
All right.
And states.
Oh, states is going to be a little harder, but we've had from Europe, we've had Ireland, England, France,
Nice.
Switzerland. Any others from Europe? Poland. So 5 European countries. We've had Israel,
Mhm.
India,
Okay.
Australia, New Zealand,
I'm Israeli. This is interesting. All right. Cool.
Japan, and we've had Canada, Mexico. Emery's up in Canada. He's in Montreal. I'm not sure if Emery's. Anyway, his name it's spelled I-M-R-E, but it's pronounced Emery. Anyway, he's in Montreal, Quebec.
Okay.
Mhm.
We've had Canada, lots of United States, and Mexico. And
Nice.
let's see. So I guess that adds up to 13 countries so far. Just wondering. Any others? Anyway, that's all I can think of for the moment. But that's a lot of countries. Right?
Yeah, it is. But it's good to finally interact with people because with this outbreak that's going on, it's kind of like everybody's isolated.
In isolation. Yeah.
Nobody can actually go out and stuff. So this is kind of like a good community to get together and talk about things, what's on people's mind, and go from there.
Yeah.
Instead of being bored at home.
Exactly. That's exactly it. And so, and that's, you know, that's what collective intelligence is all of us coming together. I mean, it's a block party because it's social. We get together and talk and hang out and all that, but it's also with a purpose, right? And the purpose is to save as much of life on Earth as we possibly can. And so we get pretty deep into topics, and the block party goes for a full 24 hours. We start at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and we go all the way until on Friday morning. We start Friday morning, 6 a.m. Pacific time, and we go all the way until 6 a.m. Saturday morning. So full 24 hours.
That part is pretty cool, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So with this party, did anybody pass out yet? Because it's 24 hours, you know.
Well, I took a nap. I took a nap several hours ago.
So you're good for the whole 24 hours.
I'm good to go. So now I'm good to go.
I'm good.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm using my text-to-speech thing and trying it out.
Oh, good.
It's on my phone. Yeah, so this is it's cool.
Yeah, I remember in high school, back in my high school years, I guess you could say, anybody that passes out, people used to draw on their face because they pass out first. So we would draw on their face, and then they wouldn't even notice until they actually go outside and
Yeah.
that's when they realize, oh, dang, I passed out first. I was always the last to pass out, so that would be a good challenge. See who passes out first.
I think that was the inspiration for Last Pass. See who passes out last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like Emery was passed out, but now he's woken up. Emery, how you doing?
Okay. Let's say hello to Pam and Adam here from Montreal.
Nice to meet you.
Same here.
I was working on a bag of oranges. But I normally conk out around this time of night. Here in Montreal, it's like pushing 1 o'clock in the morning. So,
So
yeah.
you're 2 hours ahead of me then.
Yeah.
I see.
But this is the 7th block party, you know, pushing 7 and going strong, you know.
That's good.
We're locked down just like you guys, so
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I guess everybody's locked down, so it really kind of sucks. Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
nothing to do. Isolate yourself.
Yeah, so we were talking about earlier, we were talking about how we have this block party, and then there are other meetings that are starting to pop up that people are organizing that are basically similar to the objective of the block party, which is, you know, how do we save as much of life on Earth as possible, right? What do we need to do, right? In the face of so many problems and threats, planetary overheating, coronavirus, you know, the melting of the ice.
I think the first thing that we need is respect for it. Because if you don't respect other people's lives, what's going on with the environment, then you know you're not going to care about the issue. You're not going to care. I think that's the first step, is to make people care.
Yeah, that would be good too. And you know, now that everybody's self-isolated, I guess people can do their own vegan meetups here on Zoom and actually educate people that are not meat eaters and stuff like that. Like for me, mine is vegan education, but I can't really see my students because, again, I'm self-isolated. So I was thinking if I, you know, put my meetups on Zoom and stuff like that, people can attend, and yeah, I can actually do my schooling through my computer instead of seeing them in person.
Yeah.
That would be good, and that way I can self educate them and tell them like about meat and dairy and how the factories is killing the world, I guess you could say. Because every country has a slaughterhouse. Every country has animal factories. So the more we educate the people, the more there won't be too many of them.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think listening and actually caring is the biggest problem. I think.
Welcome, Ozzy. Welcome. How you doing?
Hey.
Welcome.
Ozzy, it's my brother.
Oh, awesome.
You may want to dance. You may want to dance a Macarena for him before.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Welcome, Ozzy. How you doing? Super cool. And where are you dialing in from, Ozzy? Oh, you're on mute. Here, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Arizona.
Arizona, cool. Awesome. Welcome.
Thanks. Yeah. Myra.
I'm
Where's
here.
Myra?
I'm here. I just had to put my phone. Hold
That's
on.
not your picture.
Oh my God! Be quiet.
Uh,
Here I am.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, Aziz Ashabuli. Estoy ahí en I'm here.
No, put it back on that picture. Never mind. Just kidding. You said this was a party.
This is a party. Welcome to the Collective Intelligence Block Party.
Oh, there's.
Yeah.
Where's the beers at?
It's a BYOB.
It's a tea party.
It's a tea party.
Tea party. Thanks.
Oh.
It's the
Ver-
COVID-19 tea party.
It's a tea party.
Well, that's. Oh, you want to put?
No.
It's a drink whatever you have at home party.
There you go. That's
A drink whatever you have at home.
That's it. That's it.
That's cool. So what is the conversation about before I got in?
Well, we've been talking about actually,
Collectives.
because this party goes for 24 hours straight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we start at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, which is same as Arizona time now. We start at 6 o'clock in the morning Friday morning, and we go all day long and all night long until 6 a.m. Saturday morning.
Oh, wow.
24 hours straight.
The same people or?
The people come and go. I mean, between, you see Nolan there up at there, that's Nolan. Between me
Where
and
at?
pardon?
I can only see you.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't see Nolan. You don't see Nolan waving?
You have to talk. There you
Oh,
go.
you got to talk. Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Anyway, it looks like
Adam.
we've got
Adam.
Yeah.
Guess what?
welcome back, Sarah.
Hey, guess what, Adam?
What?
Guess who's with me? Our special guest. Here
Oh,
he
really?
is.
Oh, Boomer's here.
Boomer!
Okay, Boomer's really famous. In case people on this broadcast don't know, that Boomer is one of the most famous dogs because not only is he vegan, he's a vegan activist who's been photographed with Joaquin Phoenix and, of course, other movie stars. But Boomer really is the star. And he's vegan, and he's 15 and a half, and he plays like a puppy. And when I say plays like a puppy, he was playing with a 18-month-old puppy named Crawley, some weird name, but whatever. And he was playing with this dog. Okay, Adam, you know Rachel that lives at the Grove over by 3rd Street by Whole Foods? Adam, you know what I'm talking about? He's not even paying attention.
Yeah, I know her. Sorry.
Okay, so that's where Boomer was playing with this puppy, and the guy would not believe me when I said he's 15. And he was like, no, he's not. And I'm like, yes, he is. I adopted him when he was 5 years old. Somebody dumped him off.
Right.
And look at this face. Are you kidding me?
His sealed
And
face.
so, yeah, he said he's not 15. I'm like, well, you're right. He's 15 and a half, but whatever. And he was playing and roughhousing with this puppy, and they were having the best time. And this just proves that eating a vegan diet is good for everyone, including your companion animal. Because this one can't be vegan. It's my longest living, most healthiest beagle, and he's getting groomed tomorrow. That's a healthy thing. Because no matter how broke I am never gonna not take care of my baby. Yeah. Right, baby? So that's what I've been doing. What have y'all been doing?
We've been introducing each other.
So there's a vegan party.
Well, actually, in terms of the food consumed, it's basically vegan, and there's a lot of vegans come to the block party, but everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I think Myra invited me to the wrong party because I just ate some hamburgers.
Uh-oh.
I was like, oh man. I was like, would you invite me? It's like they're gonna judge me now.
No judgment coming from here, brother.
All right.
Having said that, you might hear a good bit about veganism from time to time and why it's important and all that. But I'm sure you're used to that, right?
Yeah, it's not something that I'm interested in at this point, but to each their own, right?
Totally. And we actually talk about a whole bunch of other topics as well. We talk about the need to cool the planet, and we also talk about collective intelligence. In fact, the whole name of this party is the Collective Intelligence Block Party.
Oh, okay. Is that like now when you say intelligence, what do you mean by that? Like UFOs?
No. So we're talking about, collective intelligence is the intelligence of all of us coming together and all of us like thinking together and sharing our thoughts and ideas and bouncing ideas off of each other, right?
Mhm.
And then we can build off of each other's ideas. So it's basically, it's like, the same principle that 2 heads are better than 1. Well,
yeah.
10 heads are better than 2.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Is Myra even in the chat? I mean, she invited me, but she's not speaking though.
Yeah, no. She's here. She's muted right now.
Oh, you got her muted?
I don't have her muted, but she's just muted herself. Everyone just kind of mutes and unmutes.
Yeah, we go on mute because there's a background noise. So whenever we speak, we unmute and then
you
we
guys
stop.
mute each other.
Yeah, so
like
we just don't get like background noise.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, I'm using.
Anyway, so yeah, we were just counting up the countries. We've had people from 13 different countries on the Collective Intelligence Block Party over the last 7 weeks. This is the 7th time we've done it. We do this every Friday, Saturday for 24 hours.
Nice.
And
So is there any filters on these? Or
filters? How do you mean?
On the, kind of like Snapchat?
Oh, I don't. Nolan, do you know what I think?
Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. No, Zoom doesn't have that. Maybe someday.
What?
Oh, okay. It's up to the host.
Well, I guess the one thing you can do, I don't know if you can do it on your phone, but you can make a custom background.
Yeah.
Like Pam has with the city, or Adam has with the vegan block party. But that's pretty much the extent of the customization.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So I need a filter so I can put hair on my head. So.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, yeah. No, I think.
Ozzy, how did you find out about this block party?
Myra invited me.
Okay, cool.
I was like, hold on, because I'm trying to figure something out on my laptop. And yeah, so I joined in. I know she's been trying to invite me in for a while, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like she keeps insisting on me becoming a vegan, so I'm like, no, I don't think so. So, yeah.
Hey, at least the last time I went to their house, I opened up the refrigerator and they had vegan soy chorizo. So, hey, that's something. That's something to begin with.
The vegan what?
The vegan chorizo, the vegan soy chorizo.
The vegan chorizo.
Yeah, soy chorizo. That's vegan.
No, it's pork.
It's soy.
No, it's pork.
Oh my God. Okay, maybe my sister-in-law has been lying to him all this time, but it was soy chorizo.
Why?
Oh.
The soya.
What?
They were talking about soy chorizo, and his sister was giving him soy chorizo, and he thought it was actually pork, but it's soy chorizo.
Yeah. Soy chorizo is definitely vegan.
Yeah. Vegan until now. But my family is not vegan. So I'm the only one in the family that's vegan. I don't really like to touch meat, but I touch meat if I have to. So for me, Adam is strictly vegan, Sarah's strictly vegan, they won't touch meat or eat dairy. But for me, I'm more like a relaxed vegan. I won't eat it, but like I said, if I have to, I have no choice, kind of thing. Because my family is not vegan, so. Yeah.
So what other countries have been in here, Jamin? Within
Yeah. So if you go back to the beginning, to the first block party, we've had Ireland, England, France, Switzerland, Poland, Israel, India, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, United States, and Mexico. So 13 countries so far. And thanks to you, Myra, my understanding is that in an hour, we will have Spain in the house.
Yes, we will.
Awesome. And since your friend from Spain only speaks Spanish, just a heads up to everyone that Maida and I and Ozzy will be speaking in Spanish to our guest, and then we'll translate to English for the rest of you all. So the ones who only speak English, don't worry, you won't be left behind. We will translate, but some of the time we'll be talking in Spanish, and then some of the time in English. We'll just see how it goes.
Nice.
Anyway, that starts in about an hour.
Okay. Cool.
And Maida, you can share with us what that's who he is and the seminar that he's president of at the United Nations.
Yeah, he's the president of a cultural seminar for peace for the United Nations. he knows astrology. I know someone here I know you guys were talking about astrology and billionaires and other stuff. He knows astrology. He's a very wise man. So we'll see what he has to share. I know he has a lot of information. So we'll see what he has to say about the climate change concerns and pretty much what gets discussed at the United Nations. We'll see what. It's going to be an interesting conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, Maida, for inviting him. So that'll be in an hour. Meanwhile, I don't know what Ozzy took, but he looks like he's tripping. He's like on a trip or something to the Golden Gate Bridge.
God, messing around with the settings.
No, I know. That's super cool.
I know he's a little bit embarrassed because I don't think he has ever shaved his head. I don't know what made him shave his head. Maybe he's too afraid of the coronavirus. He doesn't want the coronavirus to recognize him.
Hey, Jamin or anybody that's on here, how do you get the background? Because I have it on my iPhone, but not my iPad. Like, and when I go off, I want it to show a picture like Myra's.
Oh, it should be the same. Go to where it's you see the camera icon on the bottom portion.
No. That's why I'm asking you.
Let me see.
Boomer's trying to jump.
On mobile, it's a little bit different. Let me
Okay, like, can I do it while I'm on or no?
Yeah.
Just type it in the chat or something. I'm like, I want to get a background picture. I don't like it when I can't have a background picture.
I'm not sure if you can do it on the mobile version. Let me check.
I logged from my mobile, from my iPhone, and what I did is that I went into my account, my Zoom account, and then I go into settings. And
right,
then
but I need to figure out how to get to that part. Like, how do you go to, how do you do that? Is what I'm saying, because all I see at the top is like mute, stop video, share content, participants, more, but I don't see like where I'm in like regular Zoom.
Okay, this is how you do it.
Okay.
So, okay, do you
Adam, look,
do you see my screen?
Adam,
Wait, let me turn off my virtual. One second. Hold on.
Are you still on the other block party? Oh my God. Boomer just got hemp seeds all over my bed.
So this is my screen, right?
Well, I can't really see it, but yeah.
Okay, so on the bottom, you should be able to see 3 dots on the right side.
I see 3 dots on the top of mine.
Okay, click on that.
Okay.
Click on virtual background.
Yes, I knew it had to be one of these things.
And do the
yeah.
plus.
Yeah. Can I have that animal background like you did? I want to copy you.
Well, whatever's on your phone is what.
This is the one I want. I'll show you. Okay, hold on. Now let me go back. Okay, so let me go off and say stop video, but see the picture's not coming on.
Yeah, I guess it's only when you're on.
No, but how do I move this thing? And I don't want.
You can also change your profile picture. I think that's what would show up when.
Okay, well, where do you find that? Change your profile picture.
I have to figure it out. Hold on.
You're so smart. Adam can figure anything out if you guys need to know. Just ask Adam. He literally can figure anything out.
Okay, so on the bottom, you see the gear.
I'm on an iPad.
Okay, I know. Look for settings. It looks like a little gear, a little circle.
I know, but are you saying on my whole iPad's picking up the block party?
Okay. Okay, so does yours look somewhat like this?
I don't think so.
And okay, on the bottom, is there something that says meet and chat? Meetings, and then
Meeting settings.
okay, go to settings.
Yeah.
Okay, now
Yeah.
it says your name. Click on it, and then click on profile picture.
I don't see that part. I'm telling you, I'm so confused.
Let me see if I turn off my video. If it would, yeah. See, it goes to that.
Wait, it goes to what?
Huh?
It goes to what when you turn off video? On my iPhone,
It goes to my profile picture.
But how did you get that? Because I can do it on my iPhone, but I don't know how I did it. It was accidental. See, like Ozzy has Golden Gate.
Okay. Do it on your phone first. It will transfer to your.
No, because I have it on my phone and it's not on my iPad. That's how I'm telling you why I'm going through it.
Okay. Go to your settings on show me your screen show me your iPad.
How do I do that? I'm on my iPad.
Oh yeah.
Forget it.
Take a picture of your iPad. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take a pic. I'll screenshot it. But look, let's just get back on the block party.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna change my
Where are you, Jamin?
He's gone.
No, I'm here. I'm on the back deck.
Oh, okay.
Adam, that's a really cool background. I like that.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that just like one of those little like
it came with Zoom.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. There's a few of these type of backgrounds. You know, you can make your background a video if you have it stored on your computer.
Cool. I'll have to put like Scarface, the movie Scarface, as my background.
Okay. So, any conversations, any ideas out there on how to make super intelligence, super collective intelligence a reality?
Yeah. You just asked me my favorite question. How do you make Jamin happy? You ask him about ask him about collective super intelligence. So so here's the basic idea. So just like you see how we like we pass around information, and like Sarah needs to know how to do something on her phone, so she asks Adam, and boom.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, there's a Chinese saying that many hands, just like Emery's got many hands.
Is better than one.
Many hands. No, here it is. Many hands make heavy work light. Many hands make heavy work light.
Yeah.
It looks like Nolan just put a bunch of cocaine on his glass desktop there. We're gonna watch him snort it. Go ahead and snort it, Nolan. There you go. All right. Anyway, so many hands makes heavy work light. Nolan apparently likes the cocaine. You're getting something to write on your glasses there. Anyway, you better.
I think it's a star system. I think it's a space scene.
Hmm.
I don't think it's cocaine, but
Okay.
It looks like it though, but it's funny. I'll go with that.
yeah.
Anyway, so many hands make heavy work light. And it's the same thing with many minds. Many minds make a hard problem easy, right? Whether it's because one person in the group happens to know the answer, or more likely, several people in the group all collaborate and contribute ideas that contribute to the overall solution, right?
Right.
Now just consider, Adam. Name some very highly specialized, very specific topic that you'd have to really be a specialist to.
A lawyer.
Okay, lawyer. Okay, and you want to think of some branch of law or some specific area of law. That's like
criminal law.
Criminal law. Okay, great. So let's say we got criminal law. Let's say that there's a vegan activist who's been arrested and is being detained and is being harassed and all this stuff because there are criminal charges against them because they. Oh, all right. I see Tony Montana there. That's what I'm talking about. Ozzy says, "Say hello to my little friend." Good one.
Yeah, that's why I kept going in and out because I saw you. I heard you saying that, so I was like, "I'm gonna do it."
Awesome. Tony Montana. All right. So anyway, let's say that a vegan activist got arrested, and we're all like, okay, we got to figure out how to get that. How to get
person out.
Pardon me?
How to get him off.
How to get him off.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so let's say that instead of us coming we could come together. We probably would. We'd come together and we talk and stuff, and we do. But imagine that within our network, there were hundreds of lawyers. And among them, a few dozen criminal lawyers. Right? And so imagine that we put out like a signal. It could be like a tweet that would go out to all of the lawyers,
right.
or maybe all of the criminal lawyers, and say, "Hey, listen, we need a few criminal lawyers, whoever's available, to help us brainstorm how to get this person free." Right?
Right.
And so they'd get together on a video conference just like this, and they would just drill right into it. And they'd be speaking each other's language because they're all criminal lawyers, and da-da-da-da-da, and what's on the docket, and who's the judge, and da-da-da-da, and what are the exact charges, and what's the case file, all that legalese stuff, right? And between them, they'd get it sorted out, right? And if they couldn't sort it out, they would figure out, okay, what specialist do I need to bring in?
Right.
And each of them has their own Rolodex. And so that, in a nutshell, is just a tiny example of the power of collective intelligence and having a whole network that you can tap. Right? And our vision is that our numbers grow and grow and grow.
Kind of like solving an escape room, like you need everyone to work together to get out, to solve the. It's on a small frame, on a scale, of course, but yeah.
Exactly, and here's the thing: collective intelligence can be used for small problems, all the way up to planetary scale problems. Like, for example, how do we cool our planet in time? Right, in time to save life on Earth,
or even just translate someone's, language.
Exactly, like in 40 minutes when we have our guest, Maida's guest, he speaks Spanish. No,
Right.
does not speak English to our understanding. And so anyway, so we'll be translating and all that. So again, it could be a very tiny, simple problem, or it could be a big problem. And the more, the deeper our bench, right, to use a baseball, our baseball, the deeper our bench, you know, the easier it will be for, I'm just going to call it the system as a whole, the overall system, including all the people, all the software, all the web services, all the databases, everything, all the AI, whatever it's using, right? The system as a whole. The deeper the bench that the system has of talent, the easier it will be for the system to come up with the right combination, right? Of people in order to solve whatever problem they're setting out to solve at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, you see that in corporations. I mean, you have to have experts from different coming together and to make it things a reality, because, you know, you have engineers of this specific, you know, that specialize in something specific, and then you have scientists that maybe specialize in something similar, and then, I mean, everyone has to come together to make things work. So no, I get that. And if you could get enough people working together, like almost like in one voice, that would be the ultimate, or in one thought. One interesting.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about our vision, because we've been working at this for a number of years now, and so, you know, you use voice to text, right, where you just like dictate into your phone, right? I do that all the time also. So that's the term we use for that is transcription, because what it is you're transcribing, right? What you're saying into text. Okay, so imagine that we generate, just imagine, I'm gonna ask you to put on your Imagine cap and just imagine a scenario that's not too far into the future. I mean, it literally could be weeks into the future, because all the pieces are there. We just have to assemble them, right? Okay. So imagine a scenario where everything that we're saying on this video conference is automatically and more or less instantaneously, with maybe, you know, a second lag or something like that. But basically real time being transcribed and indexed, like what Google does, indexing the whole web. Well, here, these entire transcripts would be indexed. For what purpose? Well, why does Google index the web? Google indexes the web so that when I search for, you know, chocolate flavored Christmas candles, right? You know, you know, any references to that will pop up. So, likewise, we want to be able to enable people to do whatever specific searches they're looking for, right? And if that set of words has been used in a conversation like this one, it would highlight it and take you right there. And then you'd say, you know, because you would use, think of it as kind of like a form of advanced search. You know, like in Google, there's just regular search, but then you can, okay. Think of it as like a form of advanced search where you are.
I think the problem is it would have to be different from what we have right now. It would have to be a new technology, because otherwise you'd have a million voices simultaneously trying to explain in their own terms, in their own way. Like even like let's say you have 100 million people. And you have different people that specialize in different fields, right? You know that maybe 50,000 might answer a question in the way they think is right. You'd have all these voices simultaneously trying to answer this or trying to do something about it. So it would have to be something like an AI listening in on their answer and doing what it thinks is right based on all the information that they're given, or something like that. Otherwise, you'd be listening to a million voices.
Well, that's a really interesting point. But let me give you an example of a system that deals with that and works. Facebook. You've got, I don't know, over 1 billion voices or whatever expressing themselves, and yet what you see on your feed or your wall or whatever is really customized and filtered. That's a key word, filter. It's filtered for you, right? And so likewise, first of all, and this is exactly the kind of thing that we talk about like every day, what we're talking about right now. And because there is no like one answer to it, right? Because on the one hand, we do want 100 million people participating, right? And how do you enable those people to participate in those conversations that they would love to participate in? How do you help them find those conversations? How do you help them jump into those conversations? Maybe
Let me rephrase it. Yep. Imagine if you had a computer, but everyone online could move the cursor where they want, could type what they want. Who do you decide who types first? Who moves the cursor first? What needs to be done first? And sorry, computer off. Sorry. But you get my point, right? How do you get the output to be not just a bunch of gibberish of like different people or different?
Okay, so let me give you an example. How does Wikipedia do it? Because on Wikipedia, you've got however many tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people who've used Wikipedia.
So you're saying that people would search out the answer and they would be able to find it from these people in virtual space or something?
Well, okay. So again, with your big imagination cap on.
I am. I'm using my imagination.
Okay, great. So imagine that that there are 100 million people participating in this collective superintelligence, and that the main modalities or ways that they participate are through video conferences like these, and through discussion forum conversations, text-based like Reddit.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And in fact, the two can even be spliced together. So, for example, let's say that there's a meeting every Friday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. on veganic permaculture, right?
Okay.
And then in between those weekly meetings, the same conversation continues on Reddit, right? And in fact, there may be, 3 or 4 different Reddit threads that are all pertaining to the same topic space of veganic permaculture, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the threads may be on soil, right? Another may be on, sourcing good seeds and what plants to grow and stuff like that. Another might be for irrigation, the irrigation system, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So because, in a 2-hour weekly meeting, you can cover lots of different topics. Here's the agenda. Boom, 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 boom. And over the course of 2 hours, you might cover, 10 different topics.
Right. Well, the difference is that's one person searching for something that he or she is looking for. Whereas what you're saying is, let's get the information from all the, like a swarm, like a hive, hive mind, and somehow have everyone ask the same question and give the same answer. And there would be maybe it would happen instantaneous. So, you get what I'm saying, right? The difference between individual searching for something and then the hive mind trying to search and then answer. I don't know.
I get what you're saying about the hive mind, where you query 50,000 people, you give them all the same question, and you tabulate their answers, and then you can do lots of things with that data. And so that's actually a scenario that we have not explored implementing. So it just hasn't come up in conversation. I think that's one of the sort of like one of the classic examples of collective intelligence is, get 100 people together and have each of them guess, what is the weight of that giraffe, right? And the average of the estimates is, pretty close to the actual weight of the giraffe, right? So it's just like,
right.
That's just a really interesting thing that pops out of that application of collective intelligence. So there's a lot of applications to collective intelligence, right? We have come up with a concept for what we call collective superintelligence, which is, as the name suggests, a super powerful form of intelligence.
The superintelligence made up of a hive minds of millions of people.
Yeah, exactly.
One consciousness.
Effectively one integrated consciousness, which over time becomes ever more integrated, right? Because let me explain. Let me just walk you through a key scenario. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the scenario. So let's say you've got these 100 million participants who maybe on average spend, a couple hours a week participating in, in the collective superintelligence, participating in mostly through video conference conversations, right?
Right.
And so, that's 200 million person hours per week of dedicated time to the collective superintelligence. So at any given time, you've got millions of people, right? Dialed in. Okay. And, or at any given time, you've got, I don't know, let's say close to 1 million. And it could be a few 100,000, whatever. And so of those few 100,000, so you got a few 100,000 who are like strapped in plugged in and participating
Right.
in a conversation. Okay. Like this one. And so, just to give it rough numbers, let's say it's 800,000 people participating simultaneously. And on average, there are 8 people per conversation. Right now, we've got like 10, 11 if you include what's his name, Beamer, the doggy. Okay,
Boomer.
Boomer. Okay, so we got 11 with Boomer, and but imagine there was 8 on average. Some have 6, 12. Okay, so you then would have, out of 800,000 people, there would be 100,000 conversations happening in parallel, right? Now that's pretty mind blowing, but anyway, because of what's about to follow, imagine each of those is broadcasting like this one, like we're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Or I think just YouTube right now. I think the Facebook one didn't work for some reason, but anyway, right now we're streaming on YouTube. And imagine that we were transcribing in real time into text, and that all that text was being indexed in real time. Okay? Now it's made searchable. And so, for example, I could go to my dashboard. If I've got a personalized dashboard for the system, and I could do a search, and I could say, show me who's talking about veganic permaculture right now, like in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can YouTube it.
Yeah, and you can YouTube it, and then you can watch. But then check it out. If you really like what you see happening in that conversation, and it's a conversation you think you could contribute to, you jump in. You click on the link, and just like you joined this block party, you joined that conversation. Hey, everybody, was listening in for a few minutes. I'm all about veganic permaculture, and I'm just here to contribute. Oh, great. Welcome, Matt. Welcome. And then they keep talking about wherever they're at in the conversation.
The problem is that you have people that are of different intelligence. They learn differently. It would just be information, but like the actual how do they utilize that information is also important. Do they understand it fully? Because yes, I can have a scientist tell me how to, build a nuclear bomb, but to actually have no experience and unless he could somehow take over my body and actually do it, there's probably a lot of learning curve there, and I think that's part of the problem also. I'm not saying it's not possible at some point. I'm just saying that we have to look at how to solve some of the issues of individual learning curve and lack of experience. Because it'd be great, for instance, if you don't have a specialist doctor in India who can do an operation and then just bring them over, right? We have robots that basically do that, right? Telepresence. But transferring that information, I think you'd have to transfer more than just pure information, because even if I looked at a YouTube on how to do surgery on you, I don't think you trust that. You see what I mean?
Oh, totally. I think Nolan had something to say about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. I'm really appreciating what you're contributing, Adam. You're asking good questions and have good critiques, and it's super helpful. Well, part of the vision for me is imagine that people through this platform, just like in whatever education system, you're paired up with somebody who knows way more about whatever they're teaching you, right? We can still help match and match students to teachers kind of thing across whatever subject it is. And that's just one way that we can talk about characterizing people and then using the complementary nature of their relationship. There's some pattern there, using that to figure out, well, who should Adam talk to if he wants to talk about solar radiation management? Maybe his personality is going to mesh really well with this other personality.
Right. And beyond even that, just the language barrier, you know, like, I mean, you have like all these different barriers of lack of experience, language barrier, you know, the way people learn is very different. And I just feel like it would be better if somehow you could like take all that information and have it some sort of like Alexa or some kind of like AI access that information and either do it for you or explain it to you in the way that you, like, let's say maybe in Italian, you know, maybe in whatever language you speak. So I think that would be better way to go. I don't know. But it's cool. I like it. And I mean, I think people have been thinking about this mostly because they're kind of afraid of what is it called? You know, super AI intelligence, the singularity, you know, and they're afraid of being somehow replaced by automation and you know, artificial intelligence. And so the idea of like superhuman intelligence means that we can't just be stepped on by an AI that, you know, taught itself how to program other AI and how to improve itself. We could probably figure a way of working together rather than being in competition or being at odds.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Does
Sure.
the Zoom offers translation and caption, or not yet? We're not in that high technology as of yet.
They showed it off at the Zoom conference when I went several months ago, but I don't think it's a public feature yet.
Mm-hmm.
So soon, yeah. Transcripts and translation.
That would be awesome if we can get that in the near future, because then the language barrier will not be a barrier anymore.
Right. You've heard of the Tower of Babel, right? It's like it's an old Bible story of like how all of humanity is trying to build this super tall, you know, tower that goes to heaven, and God doesn't want them to be able to build this thing, and so he takes away their ability to communicate with each other, and that stops them from building it. And so in a way, building the Tower of Babel is like super collective intelligence, right? We're all working together to, yeah. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the vision. That's really cool.
I mean, a very visual example of collective superintelligence is NASA in the 1960s, right? With the Apollo program and the mandate to.
It took many people to get that rocket out there.
I mean, like
intelligence.
Probably tens of thousands if you include all the contractors and specialists and everything else.
Yeah.
But take core NASA itself, and in Houston or wherever NASA headquarters was, and you can imagine that instead of the 100 million people that we're speculating about, okay, maybe it's a few thousand or whatever, I don't know. Now, if they're all in one headquarters, they could organize into meetings, right, on whatever specific topics. And there's so many topics that they need to master, right?
Right.
Each part is a topic, right? And each connection of one part to another is another topic. You have to consider adhesives, friction, wear and tear, strength, heat, all kinds of factors. So you got all these different specialty topics. And for each topic, you have the right team of people, right? And anyway, that's kind of a good sort of visual for where we're going, because where we're going with this whole mission, this whole effort, is that there's so many different problems that we need to solve as a species, right? And how do we, just like breaking down the problem of designing a spaceship into all of its different, first of all, it's like its major sections, right? Its major, components. Like there's the.
I had an idea actually.
Yeah.
Of how to work this. It requires VR. Basically, the idea is almost like a game. This is the problem, and we need specialists to come into VR and to work on this problem together. That way, it doesn't matter where they're at. That means, obviously it means high speed, like super speed data, because you're trying to move three-dimensional objects that are very detailed. But the idea is like, for instance, you can have a specialist doctor and he's teaching all these other doctors in VR on how to like do the surgery, or how, or this incredible engineers teaching someone on how to work on a NASA engine and taking it apart. I think that would work well with that. Just an idea that came to me.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Now consider that for every big problem that we have, like let's just take coronavirus. Well, actually, instead of saying that which I was about to say, we have to let's use a code name for it, so that we don't have problems with some of the algorithms that are filtering out media that uses that word. So let's just say the common cold.
Okay.
Right. So there's this problem out there called the common cold. Let's just call it CC. And so, how do we solve this CC problem? Well, let's first break it down, right, into its major components. You have stopping the spread, and then you have treatment. Those are two totally different things. One is, let's make sure people don't get the virus in the first place. And the other thing is, but if they do, here's how we treat them, right? Okay. So stop the spread and treatment. Stopping the spread would in turn break into various subtopics, right? Of like, for example, food distribution. The main reason most people leave their homes, just like we were talking about earlier, is to get food.
Right.
And what if we did like what China did and just deliver food to everybody? Stay in your home, we'll bring you the food. Boom, right? We could.
I mean, we do. Amazon has same-day deliveries on things, but and the thing is people are just not used to doing it that way. I think like businesses should advertise or have a big sign saying, we'd love to deliver this to you, to your home, instead of you coming here, or something like that, and putting, a website or something that goes directly to it, or and a phone number or something, because I think that would get less people. And maybe certain items are more available, if you deliver them. And so people would definitely go for delivery that way.
Well, the major problem I'm looking at, excuse me right now, is the fact that, let's just say Amazon, they closed 10 of their warehouses due to this virus. Now, those 10 warehouses, you can't get product. So what they're doing is they're relying on Canada, but Canada only has certain products. Once that goes, we need to find another company that does have the supplies and can give it to people. Now, if Amazon goes, because that's a major business, if they go down, where is the other websites that people can go to? Because there is only a certain amount of websites people know about. And you have to be careful, because some of the websites may have scams in them too. Like some of them may take your money and that's it. They close the warehouse or they close their business down. So people have to be careful of where they're getting the products, which company they can rely on, and
right.
Has the products. Because right now, I'm kind of having a problem, because all the companies I deal with, they're all closing down. They have
but I think what Jan was saying is, instead of you going into the store and like going through this line, why don't like Costco, for instance, deliver it right to your door, and then you don't have to go. Like if they made it like a main thing to advertise that, that they should just get it online, or get it delivered online. That would.
I agree with you. I agree with you, and yeah, Costco should do that. But it depends on if Costco has the products. If Costco doesn't have the products, then what does Costco do? They have to wait for another shipment or another supplier. Like, I know Costco only has 3 suppliers, and so far 2 is down. So they're only relying on 1 supplier.
Well, at least you wouldn't go to Costco then. Like, it would save you from going into Costco and trying to find a product.
If Costco delivers it to everybody's houses, they only have like so much product, and after that, they don't supply. So we have to find a company.
I think they need to limit it.
Houses.
Right. I think they need to limit it. I think some places are limiting how much they sell because they're afraid of hoarders.
Yeah, in stores, yeah, but online.
Costco is not one to actually do that, and they should. I think
But
everyone should.
online, everything is gone. I looked on Costco online, everything is gone. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking for Kleenex, gone. I'm looking for shampoo products, gone. Like, G-Man said, if like in China, they delivered all these products to people's homes.
Hmm.
The thing is, the only people who can do that is the hoarders. And if those people that are like us, and if they can deliver to your house, then they would. But if they don't have products, we are looking at those people that again have a whole bunch of supplies at the house, and they should start delivering it to people's homes, because we don't have the products. Costco doesn't have the products. Where do we go to next? That's my biggest concern.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Yeah, like even Walmart delivers, but Walmart doesn't have products online either. So, and again, I'm looking for different suppliers that will come to my house and deliver stuff I need.
I don't think any nation was prepared for such scenario that we are in right now, and it's gonna take a while to figure out what are they gonna do, because as of right now in United States, I mean, states are still not shut down. I think California and New Mexico are. That's it. But it's gonna take a while to figure that out, because we're a lot of people in United States and Canada and Europe. We're overpopulated, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot of people to deliver foods and to get all that stuff organized. I don't know how China did it. They did a great job. I don't know how I'm assuming they were prepared before this whole pandemic kicked in, because they knew what they were doing. You could see those people spraying in the streets and everything. Is something that the government is not even doing in United States or Canada.
Right.
It was a bioweapon.
Yeah, it was something that it was man-made. And they definitely got those bacteria, and they built it with all these animals that are infected, wild animals. So we are in a big mess.
I definitely agree. I think we are.
Hey, John is on.
Hmm?
Hey, John, are you on?
No, he's not on. I don't see him.
I see his icon.
John Hayes?
Yeah,
Yeah. It says John Hayes at the bottom of the screen.
yeah.
Oh, I don't see him.
I don't see him either.
Well, I don't see him, but maybe he's listening. Oh, okay. He's probably just listening in.
Well, welcome, John. Whether you're just listening in or you're going to jump into the conversation, welcome.
Adam, you should change your background back to the vegan one. Looks better.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see my background with Boomer in the background? I had to turn off my light because it's like way past my bedtime. Adam, I think it's really dark. But did you see Boomer in the background?
Yes, I do.
I took that at Manhattan Beach the other day. Oh God, love my life right there.
Hey.
Oh, there he
John.
is. Hi. Hey, Boomer's picture.
Hey, Don. Boomer, I was just feeding Boomer some cauliflower crust because I got a pizza at Whole Paycheck today, even though I can't stand Whole Paycheck and I hate Jeff Bezos.
You don't have much choice right now.
I had to suck it up and go to Whole fucking Paycheck today. And I went there and I got a pizza, but I got the gluten-free one. Anyway, I gave Boomer some of the crust, and he really liked it. And I gave him a Boom Bar. So I went to Tailwaggers yesterday.
Boom Bar, just named after him, right?
Yeah, it's a hemp bar. You would love it. It's so beautiful.
Well, is the cauliflower crust vegan? Because I've noticed like some
Oh yeah,
has cauliflower crust, but it's not vegan.
Oh no, it's 100% vegan. Why would you even ask me that? You know me.
Yeah, but just